I'm saying.
Yeah, your style game
I
has.
look back at some pictures of myself when I was beating Anderson Silva and all this stuff. I'm champion of the world. I got like these baggy jeans with like old sneakers. I'm like, man, that's embarrassing. Not that I know anything about style now, but I put a little bit more effort into it and asking questions, and people like send me things and tell me what they, my wife helps me and whatever to what goes with what. I still don't get it, but I'm wearing better shit.
So Marivi's dressing you.
Marivi dresses me for the most part, but for this one in particular, this is IMG, the modeling agency, who have recently invested in my services as a model. They dress me for this event along with Jim Walter. So my manager,
also always very well dressed, Jim.
Also very well dressed. Yeah.
So you're modeling.
I'm a model.
It's not just Luke Rockhold. It's Chris Weidman as well.
And Wonder Boy is really the reason I became a model. Wonder Boy inspired me to become a model. I'm like, if this guy could become a model, I can.
Chris, you did so much lobbying in Albany to get New York legalized for MMA. And I know you wanted to headline Madison Square Garden, to be the champion at Madison Square Garden for a very long time. Is this the path now? Do you feel like maybe in November 2019, when they come back here, Chris Weidman will be defending the middleweight title at Madison Square Garden? How cool would that be?
Yeah, man, I think that would be amazing. That'll be ridiculous. Getting a win over Jacare tonight gets me into that title fight. I win that title fight. Let's bring it back here. I'll defend in Madison Square Garden next year. That'd be amazing.
Have you thought about how your jiu-jitsu matches up with Jacare? And is part of you almost curious to, hey, let's see what we can do on the ground, because you're an 80cc guy, and he's obviously a legend in BJJ.
Yeah, I definitely want to. I'm curious. Not that I'm questioning anything, but it's going to be fun for the fans. I'm really confident with myself on the ground. And, I'm pretty damn good there, and it doesn't matter how good of a jiu-jitsu guy you are. The submissions I hit, like some of the chokes I do, when my arms are wrapped around you, it doesn't matter what belt you are or what you've accomplished in the past. You're going to go to sleep or you're going to tap. Honestly, I've proved it before, and I've been on the floor with some of the best jiu-jitsu guys in the world, and I think I'm right there with those guys. So it should be interesting. You add in the punches and everything. So if I want to take it to the ground, I'm going to be comfortable there, and I'm excited about it. And listen, the thing with this fight is my gas tank is really, really good. And I think his gas tank is a little questionable. I think he does fade. He has a lot of muscle and more explosive. So any activity, me taking him down, being on top, him skirmishing for submissions, me going for submissions, is all a win-win for me.
You seem incredibly loose this week, and you mentioned yesterday at the open workouts that the mental game has changed a little bit for you, and you're maybe not as tight. You seem very confident. Is that true? Do you feel loose and confident going into this fight?
I feel so much better going into this fight, and for a few reasons. One, I went from the highest of highs, being the greatest of all time, defending my belt multiple times, being undefeated, undisputed. I felt like I was never going to lose in my career, to losing 3 fights in a row, and being depressed and going through tough times and trying to find the confidence again. And I was able to do that by looking at each one of those fights that I lost individually and realizing, different things went wrong each one of those fights, not as a whole. If you look at 3 fights in a row that you've lost, you hit rock bottom, your career's over. But I looked at each one of those fights, and each one of those fights I was actually winning, up until a certain point. And there was tactical mistakes, there was mistakes in training that happened, there was things that went wrong in training. So I focused on that, and that gave me the confidence going to the Gastelum fight, which took a lot of mental energy to believe in myself going to that fight. And fighting in front of my hometown, right? Long Island, main event, in front of all my fans, come through that adversity, hitting rock bottom like that, and persevere and get that win there. I felt like I deserved the belt around my waist that night. And now going into this fight, I put that behind me now. I'm still on the way to telling my story. It's a bigger picture thing now for me to be able to inspire people. When you hit rock bottom, you're going through depressions, and the easy way is to put your head down and give up. And I was there for a little bit, for sure. And I persevered through that. I poked my chest out, and I decided to walk forward and get back out there and believe in myself. And it was not easy. I kept working on it, and thank God, I believe in God, and my spiritual game became stronger throughout all this. And to persevere and get that win over Kelvin, especially a finish over a guy who's never been finished, and a guy who's now fighting for the title, it was an unbelievable feeling. But now my story is to be able to inspire people. I come from that. I'm going to win this fight on Saturday night, and then to go fight for the title, win that belt, and be able to stand with that belt over my shoulder again and tell the world that when you're going through that depression and you're hitting rock bottom, believe in yourself, don't give up. And that's really, I think, the bigger picture for me now, to be able to inspire people.
Did the thumb shake you at all, though, needing the 2 surgeries?
Yeah, man. I mean, I went through adversity again. I go out there, I beat Kelvin Gastelum. I'm ready to fight for the title right away. Let's go. I'm ready next week. And I felt fine. I didn't even realize how bad my thumb was, and it was dislocated toward the ligament. Things went wrong with the recovery. It was 1 in a million chance that blood supply did not come back to the bone, so the bone started deteriorating just because of the concussive hit when I punched Kelvin. So to go through that again, it happened for a reason. For this training camp, I started routines. I'm not waking up, at 10:30 anymore for 11 o'clock session, rushing to the gym, not having anything scheduled, not knowing what I have for the day, and just being a mess. I wake up early, I start routines, I regiment everything, and these are things I'm going to take with me for the rest of my life, not just for fighting, and it's really paid big dividends for me.
Last thing for me, Daniel Cormier versus Derek Lewis. What do you think?
I mean, Cormier is the favorite for a reason, but Derek Lewis is a guy who you can't sleep on for sure, because you'll go to sleep. So it's going to be exciting no matter what.